Hello. Hope you're doing well today. Today is all about how to tell if you're singing in tune or not, and how to improve your intonation. Intonation, a way to define that is singing the correct notes. So I'll give a quick example of me singing tune versus me singing out of tune so you can have a concept of that. Say hello in the comments if you're here live, and please feel free to ask questions throughout. Our last 15 minutes will be set aside just for Q&A, but you're welcome to ask questions throughout, and I'll get to them when I can. Okay, so singing in tune would sound like this. Oh, I have to turn my keyboard on. Okay, here we go. Singing in tune. Ooh. So the pitch I'm trying to sing that I'm getting on the keyboard. Ooh. I am singing that pitch. Singing out of tune. Ooh. So listen to what we call dissonance, or that clash that happens when we don't sing in tune with whatever instrument we're singing with. So you're probably singing with a karaoke track, or maybe you're singing with the original song, whatever song you're singing, maybe you're singing along with the radio. What we want to train our ears to do long term is to recognize that dissonance and make the necessary adjustments so that we come back into tune. So 2 ways that we could be out of tune, really the only 2 ways we could be out of tune, are singing flat and singing sharp. Hi, Rishikesh. So I'll demonstrate singing flat first. So if this is my desired pitch, and by the way, this pitch is C4. So if you have a keyboard, or if you want to open up a chromatic tuner, I've got some links in the video description. So check the video description. We'll be using these resources throughout the lesson. The first, or maybe it's the first listed, I'm not sure, but it's harpkit.com/online-tuner. So if you do not have a keyboard, you can use that as your virtual keyboard. And another link to open up is tuner.ninja. That's a chromatic tuner that uses your device's microphone and analyzes the pitch and tells you what pitch you're singing. So back to demonstrating flatness and sharpness. And hi, Tyler. I'm aiming for a C4. First, I'll demonstrate in tune again. Now I'll demonstrate flat. If I sing flat, that means I'm lower than the desired pitch. If I'm very, very flat, so simultaneously, we're trying to train our ears to recognize where the desired pitch is, or the correct pitch, and where our voice is in relation to that. When we're in tune, it's almost like, here's what it sounds like. It's almost like your voice is going to disappear and meld so seamlessly with the instrument that you're singing with. So flat, that means I'm too low or I'm under the desired pitch. And sharp would be if I'm too high or above the desired pitch. So again, I'm aiming for C4. This would be in tune. If I'm sharp, I'm too high. Hear how bad that sounds. That's the sound of dissonance, of notes that don't belong together. Now, it's worth pointing out that you might not always hear that clash when you're singing the wrong note. For example, if I'm trying to sing this C and I'm too low, but I sing something like this. Ooh. Now, I'm too low, but it doesn't have that really bad sound. Why is that? It's because I'm singing a pitch that belongs in that key. We're not going to get too much into music theory today, but I'm just throwing out the idea that sometimes you might not hear that clash, and you're still on technically the wrong pitch. So if you're going for this pitch, ooh, even though it might sound nice together, you're still not hitting or matching the pitch. So that's why it's so important to get into the habit of practicing with a chromatic tuner. So again, those resources are in the video description. Two that we're using first are HarpKit, the chromatic tuner or online tuner there, and then chromatic tuner, tuner.ninja. Okay, I know I'm saying the word tuner a lot, but okay, here's an example of me singing too high, but it not having that clash or that dissonant sound. So if that's the pitch I'm going for, and I sing ooh, or ooh, again, I'm singing within the key, so it doesn't sound bad, but it is still wrong. If my melody is ooh, and I'm singing ooh, that's actually a harmony, but I'm not singing the melody correctly. So the first step in improving our intonation is working on our ability to match pitch. And it's very, very simple. All you need is a source to get a pitch, a reference pitch. I'm suggesting that you check out harpkit.com/online tuner. The link is in the video description. And get a reference pitch from there. It's in scientific notation. So you'll notice if you open this up with me, the pitch I was just singing over and over, we call middle C, and you'll see that's C4. So if I play a different pitch on my chromatic tuner, and I'll actually open up my Perfect Piano app because I have sound coming in and out of the mic, so you won't hear it. So I'll play a different reference pitch, but you can also play it on your end. Now I'll play a G3. And if you click the key G3 on your HarpKit online tuner, you'll get that same pitch. This is actually a pitch that any of us can sing. It should be in the range of most altos, tenors, and basses. For a few sopranos, it might be too low, but just to get everyone on the same page, let's all try to sing this pitch. So we're going for G3. There it is, a little louder. So on any vowel, ooh, see if you can match that pitch. How do you know if you're doing it right? Tuner.ninja. We're using this chromatic tuner. And think of this tuner. Oh, we have questions. Question marks. So type out your question if you have a question. Okay. I lost my train of thought with that question. Question mark. Threw me off a little bit. Okay, so I got it back. We're checking to see if we're singing in tune using tuner.ninja. Those links are all in the video description. So again, we're trying to sing G3. Ooh. For basses and tenors, that might be high in your range. For sopranos and altos, that's going to be low in your range. So basses and tenors, think high. Sopranos and altos, think low. Ooh. If you're too low, it might sound like this. Ooh. But On your chromatic tuner, you can mute me if you want. Slide up until you get to that correct pitch. Ooh. And then you'll hear they just meld so nicely together once you are singing in tune. If you're too high or sharp, ooh, slide down ooh, until you hit G3. So if you're too high, you might be on A3 or B flat 3 or B3, somewhere around there. Ooh, until you come into in tune with the desired pitch. Tyler has a question real quick. Should you sacrifice pitch to sound good or just sound bad even to stay in key? Tyler, I'm going to suggest that you're not going to sound good if you're out of tune. That's just foundationally, fundamentally, we have to sing in tune in order to sound good. If I sing, oh, say, can you... Let me figure out the chords. Okay. Singing in tune, oh, say, can you see? If I'm out of tune, oh, say, can you see? That's never going to sound good. I know I kind of maybe overdid it a little bit, but your intonation is so important. Cannot overstate it. Okay, so we're working on first just matching pitch. That's the very, very basic of singing in tune, is being able to find a pitch on either a keyboard, virtual keyboard, or a real one in front of you, and sing that pitch. For a lot of singers, this is going to take a while to get the hang of. If you're just joining us, first step, matching pitch. Second step will be matching pitch or singing the correct pitches within an exercise. So for this, I'm going to point you to another site. It's pianoscales.org/major.html. It's in the video description, but I will... Tyler's saying I overdid it. I know. Okay, so I just posted this in the chat as well, pianoscales.org. Please click that link with me. And this is for people who are new to playing an instrument, or even people who do not play an instrument, who have no instrumental background. We're learning today how to play all the major scales. The reason we're starting with a major scale, there are different kinds of scales, but the major scale is what most contemporary music is built upon. So pop music, rock, R&B, some of them also use the minor scale. That's a different thing. We're sticking with major today. A major scale, real quick, sounds like this. I'll play starting on that G3. That's probably pretty familiar to your ear. It sounds right. So it's all a scale is just a collection of pitches. I'll demonstrate for you another kind of scale that doesn't sound as familiar, okay? Little funky, right? Or not quite as predictable. Why is that? That's because so much of the music that we listen to is built upon the major scale, at least within kind of what we consider Western music, contemporary pop music. So again, the major scale, it'll sound very familiar to your ear. So even if you've never played a note in your life, if you've never touched a piano, that's okay. We're going to learn first a C major scale. And we're learning this so that we have a major scale as a pitch reference to improve our intonation. So if you open up this website, pianoscales.org/major, look at the first scale listed, C major. That means it starts and ends on the pitch C. It gives you fingerings if you want to, if you're a piano player, but don't worry about that if this is brand new to you. You could just play with one finger all the way up the scale. So this is showing you on a keyboard how to play a C major scale, and it's also giving you what notes belong in that scale and in what order. So everyone together, we are going to play a C major scale. We're playing it. If you have a keyboard, of course you can have that, but otherwise our online keyboard, harpkit.com/online tuner. And I'm going to suggest that sopranos and altos start on C4. Tenors and basses start on C3. This is so that you can actually sing along with the pitches that we're playing. I cannot sing that C3 pitch. Nope, can't sing that low. So tenors and basses, you will be able to sing that. Altos and sopranos. I'm going to play these at the same time. You'll hear how they sound really in tune with one another. They almost sound the same. If you're familiar with The Sound of Music, this is the scale they use in the Do, Re, Mi song. Do, a deer, a female deer. Re, a drop of golden sun. Mi, a name I call myself. So they have those syllables, but for us, we'll just think of the major scale either in terms of numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or we could sing those pitches if you wanted to. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You'll notice the musical alphabet, if this is totally new to you, the musical alphabet goes from A to G and then starts over. So there's no H in the musical alphabet. If you're starting to sing H, you've gone too far. And you'll notice we're starting on C. So C, D, E, going through the alphabet, C, D, E, F, G, time to start over at A, B, C. We're going from C to C. That's a full major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So play this on your HarpKit or virtual keyboard. I'll play it on this real keyboard. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Go ahead and come down the other way. So start on C and then go lower to B. Lower is to the left. Higher is to the right on your keyboard. So start on sopranos and altos are on C5 and tenors and basses are on C4. Okay, walking down. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. So the reason I'm having you learn the major scale is because basically every vocal exercise is built within the major scale. So if we sing ooh, that's 1, 5, 1, or C, G, C. Sometimes we'll sing ooh. What's that? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or G, F, E, D, C. So once you've learned the major scale and you can sing it with no hesitation, and it's very familiar to your ear and you're singing the correct pitches, you're really set up well to sing in tune within a vocal exercise and songs as well. So this time we're going to sing along with, we'll play the pitch and then sing it. Then we'll move on to the next pitch and sing it. Okay, so you can sing on any syllable you want. I'm going to sing on do. So we're back at the bottom of the scale. Tenors and basses start on C3. altos and sopranos start on C4. You'll know if you're singing in tune or not. Hopefully, maybe you can have two windows up. So one is your keyboard and the other is your chromatic tuner. Your chromatic tuner will tell you if you're singing in tune or not. So if you hit this pitch, C4, your chromatic tuner should show up in green, C4. And when you go to sing, do, if it stays in that range, you know you're on and you're singing in tune. If you're singing a different note, ooh, my chromatic tuner picked up that I was singing a D4. So that means I was too high. Ooh. So I had to slide down until I, again, reached the C4 that I was going for. So let's try this together. We're walking up the scale, play, then sing, play, then sing. And check your pitch using your chromatic tuner. All right, here we go. C and sing. Ooh. D. Ooh. E. Ooh. F. Ooh. G. Ooh. A. Ooh. B. Ooh. And C. Ooh. Good, let's go a little faster this time. So still, we're going up the scale, ascending. Go back to where you started, C4 or C3. And we'll pick up the pace a little. Here we go, C. Ooh. D. Ooh. E. Ooh. F. Ooh. G. Ooh. A. Ooh. B. Ooh. C. Ooh. Let's go down, descending. So start on that higher C. It's going to be C5 or C4. So play and then sing. C. Ooh. B. Ooh. A. Ooh. G. Ooh. F. Ooh. E. Ooh. D. Ooh. C. Ooh. Our goal is to be able to sing this scale in tune without the help of a chromatic tuner, but the tuner is taking the place of a vocal coach. Because if you're having a voice lesson, you have the trained ears of a vocal coach to rely on, and they can tell you, we're too sharp, we're a little bit flat, or yeah, that was really good, perfectly in tune. So just think about this chromatic tuner as your, vocal coach feedback replacement. Nice thing is that it's free, and of course, it's a little bit more work. You're having to put on your, kind of analysis vocal coach hat. But this is a really, really helpful tool for singers who are, singing these scales, warming up, and just have no idea if they're doing it correctly or not. So I want to walk you through how most vocal exercises would go. So most vocal exercises are not just going to stay in one key. We're actually going to modulate or change keys. So I want to show you kind of how to follow along a vocal exercise or with a vocal exercise. Okay, so Let's do simple pattern. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and we'll sing on numbers. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. We're not going all the way up the major scale. We're stopping at 3 and coming back down. And we're starting on just C, either C4 or C3. Okay? And I'm going to walk you through how most vocal exercises go. I want you to also have open your piano major scale kind of cheat sheet. And I want you to scroll down to where it says Major Scales Overview. If you're just joining us, here's that link. It's also in the video description. So open that up and scroll down until you see Major Scales Overview. And you'll see you have C major, then you have something called C sharp or D flat major. I know that's confusing. That actually is the same pitch. So if you look at your keyboard and you play a C, and then you play the black key just to the right of that C, that's called C sharp. Sometimes it's called D flat. We won't talk about why. Don't worry about it right now. If you keep going up the scale to the next white key, that's D, D sharp or E flat, E, F. If you want to challenge yourself, you could try matching these pitches. So that's F, F sharp or G flat, G, G sharp or A flat, do, A sharp or B flat, do, B, do, and then you'll notice it stops at B because this cycle repeats. So our exercise is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. We're going to start in the key of C, and then we're going to walk up those different scales, and I'll pause each time just to explain what's going on. So in the key of C, we're playing C, D, E, D, C. Then in a vocal exercise, you'll hear something like this. Now the piano just established a new higher key. Now we're in the key of C sharp. So that's a C sharp, but we're still going to walk through the same pattern. So in this new key, C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, D sharp, C sharp, and the piano then establishes a new key. You know this pattern now. We're just walking up a half step or one key on the keyboard each time. So now we're on D. Sopranos and altos, you can be on D4. Tenors and basses, you're on D3. If you want to sing this, now we're singing D, E, F sharp, E, D. Where are we at? D sharp or E flat now? Okay, this has a double sharp, so read E flat. Read the E flat scale instead of the D sharp scale. E flat, F, G, F, E flat. And last one, last iteration. Now we're in the key of E. E, F sharp, G sharp, F sharp, E. So normally we would just keep going, but if you're having a hard time following along with a vocal exercise, see if you can find the starting pitch, figure out what pattern that exercise is. So for example, in the 30-Day Singer videos, I'll usually give you the pitch that you're starting on, or I'll play the pitch and you can see my hands on the keyboard. So if you wanted to, you could find that pitch on your keyboard and you'd have an idea of where, at least what key we're starting in. The pattern then, at least for 30-day singer, usually we'll write that pattern in terms of what are called scale degrees. So the pattern we just went through, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, that means I'm starting on the first pitch in that scale, going to the second, the third, back to the second, and then the first. Another pattern, one that we do a lot, is a 1, 5, 1 pattern. So let's see if we can figure this out together. Let's go back to, actually, let's go to a new key. Let's go to the key of A. So find an A on your keyboard. I'm going to suggest we all meet on A3. And now if we walk through this scale, A, that's our 1. B is our 2. C sharp is our 3. D is our 4. E is our 5. So if the exercise says 1, 5, 1, now you know if I'm starting in the key of A, or if you see, my thumb playing an A, then we're singing A, E, A. And if we walked up, as we are likely to do, now you know, okay, if we walked up, now I'm at the next key up. So just above A is A sharp or B flat. So look at B flat. Same pattern, 1, 5, 1. So now B flat is my 1. Walking through that scale, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, B flat, F, B flat, and we keep going. So now we're in the key of B. My 1 is B. B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp. F sharp is my 5. So I sing B, F sharp, B. Now this seems like a lot of work, I know. Most singers can do this by ear without all of the theory that goes into it. Maybe I shouldn't say most. A lot of singers can do this by ear. They can get a starting pitch. Ooh, they can match that pitch. And then if they're given a pattern, even if it's a little bit more of a complex pattern, ooh, after hearing it a few times, they can figure out how to sing along with it, and they'll notice when they're clashing. Ooh, that's a big clash. Ooh, nope, still not it. Ooh, now we're there. Ooh. So once a lot of singers have gotten comfortable with that pattern, then it's not a really big deal to just shift that pattern up or down because the space between those pitches stays the same. So even if we learned a pattern here, do, 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 if we move it down a little bit, do, 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 the pattern is the same. So even though the pitches are just slightly lower or slightly higher as we go through a warm-up routine, the pattern stays the same. So what is that pattern for the major scale? This site also has that for you. How you build a major scale in terms of whole steps and half steps. We're not going to go into that, but if you know music theory, that'll make sense to you. Okay, so we've covered matching pitch, how to do that with a keyboard of some kind. It could be a virtual keyboard, and then a chromatic tuner to let you know if you're singing the desired pitch. Second step, we looked or learned how to make sure we're singing in tune with a vocal exercise. Most vocal exercises we learned use the major scale. So, one thing we want to do to improve our intonation is to practice a major scale, singing a major scale, both ascending and descending in all different keys. And we can see how to play those different keys on pianoscales.org/major. It's in the chat and the video description. And it even shows you the keys on the keyboard. So you could not even look at the pitches, although I'm going to suggest that you do look at the pitches so that you're starting to learn music theory too. So you'll see on this site, C major, you'll see where to start. D major, okay, I'm starting a key above, and then I've got a couple black keys. These show up in blue if it's a key that you play. So your ear training could look like matching individual pitches and then walking through a scale and matching the pitches within that scale, moving up, moving down, and always staying within a comfortable range for you. So last step would be applying this to our song work or the songs that we sing. This gets a little bit tricky. So I'm going to suggest again that we use a technological tool. Some singers like using Smule, the karaoke app. I also have recommended in the past a couple different apps. One is called Perfect Pitch. Another is called Sing Sharp. So I'm going to demonstrate Sing Sharp with you today. Since I can't share my screen, I'll just, show you on my iPad like so. And I'm going to look at the questions as well soon. But Sing Sharp, if you launch it, it'll look like this. Try to not get the reflection of my window too much in there. You can determine your vocal range. That's the first little section on here, is determining your vocal range. And you'll see this is essentially just a chromatic tuner. And if you sing really low, ooh, ooh. My voice is cracking like crazy. Ooh. I probably shouldn't include that in my range if my voice cracks so much. And then sliding up. Ooh. Seeing if you can slide even higher. So then you have a good idea of your vocal range. In my case, let me try to hit a low note without cracking. Ooh. Okay, it's all right. And then sliding up. You'll notice if you talk, it's going to pick up the pitches of your speaking voice too. Okay, so the next little feature in this app, Sing Sharp, is a warm-up feature. So this is taking some of the work out of it for you. Instead of determining the pitches and using your tuner, this just has that in kind of a bundled together. So it has, singing the same note, singing an octave. So let's actually look at that pattern. This one's called Delightful, and it says 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. That's the pattern we covered before when we sang C, D, E, D, C, and then C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, D sharp, C sharp. Okay, so let's take a look at this. And you'll have some different options for which range to be in. So I'm choosing the higher option. If I choose lower, I think that's going to be too low for me. So I'm choosing higher. And anytime you use an app like this, whether it's Smule, Sing Sharp, Perfect Pitch, to get the best results, you actually do want to plug in with your headphones. I'm not, so that you can hear and see what's going on. But you'll see this shows the pitches on the side, and then that little red dot or bar, as it's about to be, is going to be your pitch. So, ooh, you see it's picking up my pitch via the iPad's microphone. So if I play this, we'll see how I do. First, I'm going to try to sing in tune. So play. 2, 3, 2, 1. Change keys. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Now I'll be flat. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. See, I'm below the pitch, and I'll be sharp. 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Woo, that's painful. Okay. So you can see the little red bar or red dot is your pitch, and you can see in relation to the desired pitch, where am I? Am I on the white bar of the melody? Am I too low or flat? Am I too high or sharp? This also has a song function, basically a karaoke function, and I'm going to show you that shortly. So I'm just using the free features on this. They do have a paid version that gives you more warm-ups and things like that. So you can determine if that's worth it for you. If you feel you need something like this to do your ear training, then do it. Okay, I'm going to actually sing a Christmas song. I know that's we're not in Christmas season. It's okay. So I'm choosing Joy to the World because it's public domain and a lot of us are familiar with the melody. So you'll see it looks pretty much similar to the warm-up page. It has the lyrics on the bottom, it has the pitches on the side, and then it'll have the melody in bars. So let's see how I do. Oh, I can't hear anything. Let me turn the volume up. Again, if you're doing this on your own, use headphones because then the mic on your headphones will pick up your voice much clearer. Okay, so restart. To the world, the Lord is come. Do, 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 and heaven and nature sing. Let me show you. Pause, 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 pause. So I'm going to show you how even in singing that would be considered in tune, there is pitch variation. So you'll see that the pitch goes crazy when I sing with vibrato. So I'm going to restart. To the world, the Lord is come. So see how the pitch goes wild, but I'm still her King, let every heart. I'm still kind of in the right zone. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and heft. Okay. Pause. I can't actually save that performance since I didn't use headphones. For this app, you need to use headphones for it to save. Anyways, that's just an example of something that you might find useful. So they have the rangefinder, they have warm-ups, and they also have songs that you can sing and see the melody bars going through. I have a question. Rishikesh is asking, do you have any tips for making small adjustments to the pitch? Because I find myself either overshooting it or just getting louder. Rishikesh and Tyler was saying that he has the same question, the same issue. That's actually a really common issue that I've noticed with some of my students is when they try to sing higher, they just go louder. So if they're trying to sing, I'm going back to C4, middle C. and maybe they're too low, and they're just getting louder instead of getting higher. I recommend that you try humming instead. A lot of students have more success with humming rather than singing an open vowel because they can hear the reference pitch a little bit better. So try humming instead, whether you're trying to sing C4 or C3. Maybe you're too low. I encourage you, if you're feeling really stuck and you're like, and you're just singing louder, I encourage you to step away from the keyboard or the tuner for a second and just sing higher or swoop up from the pitch that you're on. Ooh, it doesn't matter what pitch you're hitting. Ooh, just to remind yourself that you can sing higher. So, ooh, make your slide a little bit more gradual. Ooh, then go back to the keyboard. And if you were singing too low, ooh, go back to that gradual slide up. Now, this only applies if you're within your usable, comfortable vocal range. So if you're going for a pitch that is outside of your range, that's the end of the road. Unless you're doing range extension and, just air is coming out. That's a different story. But if I'm going for a pitch that I cannot hit, that's not within my range, so let's say this pitch, and I'm too low, and no matter what, okay, I can kind of hit it when I'm humming, but it's still, that's outside of my comfortable range. So I think a good thing to do is first determining what your vocal range is. Let me provide a link so that you can do that if you haven't done that yet. That's a very good thing to do. Actually, I'm going to find even more info for you. So, determining range. Bear with me here for a sec. Okay, here goes. So I'm going to paste all of this in the chat. It's a little bit long, but I think it'll be helpful for you. Did that paste? Oh, my comment was too long. I need to cut it in half. Let's see if this works. Okay, there's part of my comment. And then, oh, it's still too long. Okay, there we go. So my comment's in 3 parts. So start by reading this article I wrote on finding your range. Click that, it'll give you an idea of how to find your range and then also what some common vocal ranges or voice types are. And then my second comment, you can also use the Find My Range tool on that site. You can check that you're singing in tune using tuner.ninja, my favorite chromatic tuner. And then Sing Sharp, which we also covered earlier today, has that range finder function as well. Okay, so once you've determined your range, then you have an idea of which pitches are actually reachable for me. And if you're trying to sing a pitch that's outside of your range, you can not worry about that. Leave that aside. Rishikesh is saying, so you're saying getting comfortable with sliding can help. Absolutely. Rishikesh and Tyler were asking about making minor adjustments to your pitch. And I think that sliding is very, very helpful. If you can give me an example of a pitch that you're struggling to match. I was using middle C just as my example. If I'm not comfortable with sliding, then I'll kind of keep sort of stabbing in the dark. Ooh, 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 ooh. You know, my pitch matching might sound like that. And that's very frustrating. So I feel for you guys. It's very frustrating. Using the chromatic tuner will tell you where you are in relation to the pitch that you're going for. So if you're going, since you guys, I think, are more maybe tenors or baritones, let's go for a different pitch. Ooh, so going for G3. Ooh. If you're too low or too high, ooh would be too high. Ooh, too low. And if you're not sliding, ooh, 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 it's going to take a long time. Find where you're at in relation to the note. So if you're too high, for example, ooh, and start gradually sliding down. If you see, okay, that's a G. I'm about a B3. Ooh, I'm close, but not there. Ooh. And then once you find it, lock that in and re-articulate that pitch. So let's say you went through that process with me. Say you were too high. Ooh, and then you gradually slide and you find it finally. Ooh. And it's this magical moment where your voice kind of disappears into the keyboard or whatever you're getting your pitch from. So once you find that, once you slid down, take a breath, re-articulate that same pitch. Ooh, do it again if you can. Ooh. Any pitch that you're going for, you also want to consider your registration. And Helena is asking, what is chest voice? So that's a great question to ask. Chest voice is the lower portion of our singing voice. It's the type of coordination that you use when you speak. So if you're just saying hello and you put a hand on your chest, you'll be able to feel some vibration in your chest cavity. That's why we call it chest voice. Head voice, in contrast with that, ooh, ooh, is that higher, lighter portion of our voice. If you kind of make an owl hoot sound, ooh, ooh. Rishikesh goes by Rishi. Thank you. I have a friend named Rishi, and I was just using your full name since you've got it there, and it's a cool name. I like it. Okay, so Helena, chest voice and head voice, those are the two main coordinations or functions that our voice is capable of. I'm glad you brought this up because if you are struggling to reach a pitch, the problem might lie in what register you're using. Let me give an example. If I'm going for this note, for reference, it's a C5, and I'm trying to sing, but I'm stuck in chest voice, ooh, ooh, and I just can't get high enough, try switching or flipping to head voice. Ooh, now I'm getting closer. Ooh, now I found it. Ooh, and I re-articulate. Ooh. Similar thing could happen if you're stuck in head voice. If you're going for a lower note, this is a B flat 3, and Helena says, thank you, that's what was happening to me. That is very, very common, so I'm really glad you brought it up. If a pitch is too high for chest voice, you might want to get out of chest voice land, get into head voice land, woo, and then try to find that pitch. Ooh, whatever it was. So a similar thing could happen if you're stuck in head voice. If you're going, ooh, okay, I'm really comfortable in head voice, but I want to hit this pitch. Ooh, and I can't get low enough in head voice, then find chest voice. Hey, whoa. And then you'll be able to find that pitch much more easily. So finding your range and also getting a good idea of your chest voice range and your head voice range will really help you when it comes to intonation. So if a note is too high for chest voice, you might want to try head voice. If a note is too low for head voice, switch to chest voice. So determining your vocal range and specifically your passaggio, that's the fancy Italian term for the passageway or the transition between chest voice and head voice. Figuring that out can help you a lot when it comes to singing in tune. I would say that's maybe one of the most common reasons for singing out of tune is a singer is trying to hit this note that is not yet in their comfortable chest voice range. So they're trying to sing higher and they just feel like they're reaching a ceiling. And instead, shifting gears or shifting registers can help them break through that ceiling and actually sing the note in tune. So quick recap, if you guys have more questions, please let me know in the chat. But we walked through how to match pitch, how to tell that you're singing the correct pitch, and the key is using a chromatic tuner, both knowing the pitch you're going for and using a chromatic tuner to provide you that feedback. Second, we walked through some warm-up examples. So we walked through a full major scale. That was where we sing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or you sing on pitches. You could do that too. We walked through some common patterns, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, or 1, 5, 1. And using the piano major scale, even if we're not keyboardists, we learned how we could figure out how to play those scales on maybe a virtual keyboard. And we could find different patterns within those scales as well. We could go 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, like we did 1, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and basically figure out what pitches belong within that scale and that melodic pattern. Last, we used an app. So I demonstrated on Sing Sharp, but some other good examples and apps I'd love for you to check out if you haven't. Smule, a lot of singers like for the karaoke function. Perfect Pitch is another one very similar to Sing Sharp, but if you're an iPhone or Apple person, you could download that one instead. Sing Sharp is iOS and Android. And then another app that I like is called Sing True. There's so many ear training apps in the App Store and in the Google Play Store. So I encourage you to, click around, try some out. If they give you what you're looking for, use that. Think of your ear training as a different but very, very important and related goal within your singing training. So with 30 Day Singer, the site that I teach for, and some of you are members of, we focus a lot on vocal technique. So that's how to sing, how to sound better. With any video lesson, the component that you miss out on is that direct feedback. So we're using technology, hopefully free technology, that will provide that feedback for you. And I know that it's a little bit hard to integrate all of this, but that's why I'm recommending that you kind of think of these as separate goals. So you have your vocal technique, and then you also have this ear training, pitch matching. It will blend together eventually. And remember, our long-term goal is to train our ears so that all of this training with the chromatic tuner, seeing, okay, I'm too high or too low, that eventually we're training our ears and our brain to recognize when we're in tune, ooh, ooh, and when we're out of tune, that dissonant sound, ooh, and we'll know how to get back in tune. But we can only do that with the help of either a tuner or someone like a vocal coach with trained ears who can get you on the right path. So think about them as separate but related goals. And Tyler's asking, if I'm playing a guitar sample, should I find out the exact pitches being played by that instrument? Or can I just sing whatever as long as I'm using the legal or the pitches that belong within that key? So, Tyler, you can sing, if the guitar is playing chords, then you can sing anything within that key. So if your guitar is going, or, sorry, trying to multitask, then you could be singing just within that key. Say you're in the key of C. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. All of that's, tonal in the key of C. So you could do that, but if your guitar sample is playing a melodic line, then I think it's a good idea to figure out what those pitches are so that you don't clash with them. Because if it's a melodic line, say your guitar is playing and you're going something within the key, do 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 do. Maybe you want that sound, but it's a little bit clashy. Do do. So I hope that answered your question. If it's chords, then yeah, just sing within the key. But if it's a melodic line, figure out the pitches so that you know what they are, and you can figure out a melody that either is the same as your guitar line or maybe is like a harmony of it. And Helena is asking, last question, what's the name of the apps? So that's in the video description, some of the ones that we used. But Sing Sharp, Perfect Pitch, Smule. I'm typing this. Sing True is another one that I like. I think those were the only ones that I mentioned. And then the websites are also in the video description. HarpKit, Online Tuner, and then Tuner.Ninja, Chromatic Tuner, and the Piano Major Scale. Okay, lots of stuff. You might not have expected to learn major scales and get into music theory today, but I really think it'll help your tuning as a singer and a musician overall. And again, I do encourage you to go into the App Store or the Play Store and look for different ear training apps, hopefully a free one that will provide you with reference pitches and analyze your pitch in real time. That's really what you're looking for, is something that's giving you reference pitches and analyzing your pitch via your microphone to show you or tell you whether you're singing in tune or not. So whatever app you like, I would love to hear. If you find an app that you really love, let me know in the comments, because I would love to recommend that to other singers. If you celebrate the 4th of July, happy 4th of July. And thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you spending your morning or evening, whatever time of day it is, with me. And I'll be back here next week, same time and place. And of course, if you want more content like this, check out the other videos on this channel. We've done a handful of hour-long live lessons, and also some shorter, warm-up videos and other tips. So check those out. I think you'll enjoy them. And of course, we have our full singing courses and tutorials on 30daysinger.com. So I'll see you guys next week. Let us know in the comments what you would like to do another live lesson on. You can also, if you're a 30-Day Singer user, head to the forum and ask questions there. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.